Hello, and welcome to Real Talk English podcast channel, the channel where we help you learn English in a simple, useful, and real way. I'm so happy that you're here with me today. If you're someone who wants to improve your English speaking and listening skills, then you're in the right place. Today's episode is called Stop Studying, Start Speaking. This is a very important topic for many English learners, especially for people who are stuck at the intermediate level, the B1 level. Maybe you can understand English, maybe you read English books, maybe you watch English videos. But when it's time to speak, you feel nervous, confused, or even silent. Does that sound like you? If yes, don't worry. You're not alone. Many students around the world feel the same. They study grammar, vocabulary, and exercises, but they don't feel confident when speaking. And the reason is simple. They are studying too much and speaking too little. This episode is made for B1 level English learners who want to stop only studying and start actually using English in real life. Speaking is not just something we do after we study, it is how we learn. In this episode, I will talk about why traditional studying is not enough, why speaking is the real key to fluency, how you can start speaking today, even if you don't live in an English-speaking country, and simple tips you can use every day to practice your speaking. This episode will be easy to understand and full of ideas you can use right now. So sit back, relax, and listen carefully. You can also repeat some sentences after me if you want to practice speaking too. Let's begin this journey together. It's time to stop studying and start speaking. The problem with traditional studying. Now, let's talk about something very important. How most people learn English and why it doesn't always work. When people start learning English, they usually follow a traditional way of studying. Maybe you've done this too. You buy a grammar book. You start learning tenses like present simple, past perfect, future continuous. You try to remember all the grammar rules and use them correctly. Then you start making long vocabulary lists. You write down 20 or 30 new words every day. Maybe you also read English books, watch movies with subtitles, or listen to English songs. All of these things are good, but there's a problem. Most students spend all their time studying English, but they don't use English. They don't speak. They don't try to have conversations. They wait until they feel ready. But guess what? That feeling of I am ready may never come. You may ask, but I study so much I know many words. Why can't I speak? This is a very common problem. Many learners say the same thing. I understand English, but I can't speak. And it's true. Maybe you understand movies. Maybe you understand your English teacher. Maybe you read English articles. But when you need to say something, your mind goes blank. You forget words. You feel shy. You are afraid of making mistakes. You don't know how to say what you want. This is not your fault. This happens because traditional studying is only half the journey. Let me explain it this way. Imagine you want to learn how to swim. You watch videos about swimming. You read books about how to move your arms and legs. You even learn the names of all the swimming styles: freestyle, backstroke, butterfly. But you never get in the water. Do you think you will become a good swimmer? No, right? The same thing happens with English. You can study grammar rules. You can learn vocabulary. But if you never use the language, you won't become a confident speaker. English is not just something you study like math or history. English is a living language. It is something you use to connect with people, to express yourself, to share your ideas and feelings. And the best way to learn a language is by using it, especially by speaking it. Many students believe they need to be perfect before they speak. They think, first I need to study more. I need to know all the tenses. I need to learn 1,000 more words, then I will start speaking. But this idea is not helpful. It actually stops you from growing. The truth is, you become better at speaking by speaking, not by waiting until you're perfect. Here's another example. Think about how babies learn to speak. Do they study grammar books? Do they make vocabulary lists? No. They listen, they repeat, they try to speak. They make many mistakes, but slowly they get better. And this is how our brain is designed to learn languages. By doing, not just by studying. Also, many traditional English classes focus more on writing and grammar tests. In school, you might get good grades because you can write well. But when you meet a native speaker, or when you need to speak in real life, suddenly you feel lost. This shows that knowing English and using English are two very different things. So, if you are spending all your time studying grammar and vocabulary, but still cannot speak, it's time to change your approach. It's not that you are not smart. It's not that you are not working hard. You are simply not practicing the skill you really want to improve: speaking. The main message here is this: studying is helpful, but only speaking can make you a speaker. If your goal is to speak English fluently and confidently, then you need to practice speaking every day, even for a few minutes. Don't be afraid. Don't wait. Start small. Start today. In the next part of the episode, I will tell you why speaking is the key to real learning and how it can change the way you learn English forever. Why speaking is the key. Now let's talk about one of the most important parts of learning any language: speaking. Speaking is not just another skill, it is the heart of language learning. If your goal is to speak English well, then speaking must become your main activity. But why is speaking so important? Let me explain. First, we must remember something very simple. Language is for communication. The main purpose of any language, not just English, is to connect with other people. We use language to say what we think, how we feel, and what we want. We use it to ask questions, tell stories, give opinions, and understand others. And how do we do that? We do it by speaking. So, if language is for communication, then speaking is the most natural and useful way to practice. Think about how you use your own first language. Do you spend most of your time reading grammar books in your native language? No. You talk to people. You listen, you speak, you answer, and you react. That's real communication. Now think about how children learn their first language. This is a very powerful example. Children don't start by learning grammar rules or reading vocabulary lists. They listen to the people around them. They hear their parents, family members, and friends speaking every day. They hear the same words again and again. Then, they start repeating those words. At first, they speak very slowly and only use a few words. But over time, they become better and better. They don't worry about grammar. They don't care about making mistakes. They just keep speaking. And that's how they learn, by using the language, not by studying it. This is something very important for you to understand. You learn to speak by speaking, not by studying. Let me say that again. You learn to speak by speaking. Studying helps you understand the rules. Reading gives you more vocabulary. Listening helps you hear how words are used. But only speaking helps you build confidence, fluency, and the ability to respond in real time. Think about other skills in life. Imagine learning to play the guitar. Can you learn just by reading about it? No. You must pick up the guitar and practice. Or imagine trying to drive a car. You can't learn it only by watching YouTube videos. You must sit in the driver's seat, hold the wheel, and actually drive. Speaking English works the same way. The only way to get better is to practice with your mouth and your voice, not just your eyes and your brain. When you speak, your brain works in a very special way. It starts to connect words, phrases, and grammar naturally. You stop thinking too much, and you start using the language. The more you speak, the faster your brain finds the right words. Over time, speaking becomes easier and more natural. Also, speaking helps you remember words better. When you use a new word in a sentence out loud, you are more likely to remember it. It becomes part of your active vocabulary. But if you only read or write the word, it may stay in your passive memory. You know it when you see it, but you can't use it when you speak. Many learners feel shy or afraid to speak. They are worried about making mistakes. But this fear stops them from growing. You must understand this truth. Mistakes are part of learning. Every good English speaker, even native speakers, makes mistakes sometimes. Don't wait to speak only when you feel perfect. That day may never come. Start speaking today with whatever English you know. Use simple words. Use short sentences. That's how you build real fluency. Even speaking to yourself helps. When you talk out loud in English, even alone, you train your brain, your tongue, and your voice to work together. This is powerful practice. You don't always need a partner or a teacher to speak. You just need the courage to try. So, to sum it up, language is for communication, and speaking is the best way to practice it. Children learn by speaking, not studying, and you can too. You don't need perfect grammar to speak. You just need to start. The more you speak, the more confident and fluent you become. Speaking is not the final step. It is the main part of your English journey. If you want to become a good speaker, you must speak. There is no secret formula. Just speak more, every day, and your English will grow. In the next part of this episode, we will talk about something very important. Making mistakes. I will explain why making mistakes is not bad, but actually good, and how it helps you learn faster and better. Mistakes are good. Let's talk about something that stops many people from speaking English. The fear of making mistakes. This is a big problem. Many English learners don't speak because they are afraid of saying something wrong. They are afraid someone will laugh, correct them, or not understand them. Maybe this has happened to you too. You want to say something, but then you stop. You think, what if I say it wrong? What if I use the wrong word? What if I make a grammar mistake? So you stay silent. But here is the truth. Making mistakes is not bad. In fact, making mistakes is good. Let me say that again. Mistakes are good. They help you learn. They help you grow. Every time you make a mistake, you learn something new. You understand what works and what doesn't. You remember better next time. A mistake is not the end. It's a step forward. Think about how children learn their first language. They make mistakes all the time. They say funny things, wrong words, and incorrect sentences. But do they stop speaking? No. They keep talking. They keep trying. And that's how they improve, by making lots of mistakes. It's the same for you. You are learning a language. You are not supposed to be perfect. Perfection is not the goal. Communication is the goal. Your job is to speak, try, and express yourself, even if you make mistakes. When you speak and make a mistake, something powerful happens in your brain. Your brain says, that didn't sound right. Let's fix it. And then it remembers the correct way better. This is how real learning happens, not from memorizing but from doing and correcting. Let me give you an example. Imagine you say, he go to school every day. And someone tells you, small mistake. It should be, he goes to school every day. Now, because you spoke and got feedback, you will probably remember this rule better than if you just read it in a book. Why? Because it came from experience, not just from study. Also, when you make mistakes and keep going, you build something very important: confidence. You learn that mistakes are not dangerous. They are normal. They are part of the process. The more you speak and make small mistakes, the less afraid you become. And that's how confidence grows. You may think, but people will laugh at me. The truth is, most people will not laugh. In fact, many people will respect you for trying to speak a second language. They know it's not easy. And if they do laugh or correct you, don't worry, it's okay. Use it to learn, smile, and keep going. Remember, the only people who never make mistakes are the ones who never try. If you are making mistakes, it means you are trying, you are learning, and you are moving forward. That's something to be proud of. You don't need perfect English to speak. You need brave English. The kind of English that is not afraid to be wrong. The kind of English that is honest, natural, and used every day. So next time you feel nervous about speaking, say to yourself, it's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes help me learn. Every mistake is one step closer to fluency. If I don't speak, I don't improve. So I will speak. Speak in class, speak with friends, speak to yourself, speak into your phone. Just speak. Each time you speak, even if you make mistakes, you are getting better. To sum it all up, mistakes are a natural and important part of learning. You cannot grow if you don't make mistakes. Every mistake helps your brain learn and improve. Confidence comes from speaking, even when you are not perfect. Be proud of your effort. Don't wait to be perfect. Just speak. In the next part of this episode, we'll talk about how to create your own English-speaking environment. Even if you live in a non-English-speaking country or don't have English-speaking friends. Let's learn how to surround yourself with English, so speaking becomes a natural part of your day. How to start speaking today. Now that you understand why speaking is so important and why mistakes are actually good for your learning, you might be wondering, okay, but how do I start speaking today? I don't live in an English-speaking country. I don't have anyone to practice with. What can I do? Great question. And here's the good news. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment or the perfect partner. You can start speaking English today, right now, by yourself. There are many ways to practice speaking even if you're alone. Let's talk about some simple and powerful methods you can use. One of the easiest ways to start speaking is to talk to yourself in English. Yes, really. You can speak English to yourself at home, in your room, or while walking. You can describe what you're doing, what you see, what you feel. For example, if you're cooking, say things like, now I'm cutting vegetables, or I need to boil the water. If you're walking, say, the sun is bright today, or I see a dog running. This might feel strange at first, but it really works. When you talk to yourself, you practice vocabulary, grammar, and fluency, all at the same time. You also become more confident with forming sentences quickly. Another great way is to find a speaking partner. You don't need someone who speaks perfect English. You just need someone who wants to practice like you. There are many apps and websites for language exchange, or even language learning groups on Telegram or Facebook. You can also use platforms like Zoom or Skype to set up weekly speaking calls. When you talk to someone regularly, your speaking improves fast. It's also fun to share your learning journey with someone else. If you're not ready for live conversations, try using voice messages. This is a great step between talking to yourself and speaking live with someone. You can send voice messages in English on WhatsApp, Telegram, or other apps. Find a friend or a language group and start sharing small messages. Say, "Good morning," talk about your day, or share your thoughts about a topic. This gives you time to think before speaking, and it helps you practice pronunciation and sentence structure. It also gives the other person a chance to reply in their own time. It's low pressure, but very effective. Another excellent technique is called shadowing. This means you listen to someone speaking English from a video, podcast, or audio clip, and repeat what they say right after or at the same time. You copy their pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm. It's like becoming their shadow. This helps you train your mouth and ears to sound more natural and fluent. Start with short sentences. Pause and repeat. If it's too fast, slow down the audio. With time, your pronunciation and fluency will get much better. You can do this with your favorite YouTube channels, audiobooks, or even podcasts like this one. And here's another powerful tip. Record your voice and listen to it. Many learners avoid this because they don't like how they sound. But this is one of the best ways to improve your speaking. When you record yourself, you become more aware of how you speak. You notice your pronunciation, speed, and grammar. You can compare your speaking with native speakers and work on the parts you want to improve. Don't be afraid to hear your own voice. It's your learning tool. You can record a short story, your opinion about something, or even a diary entry in English. Try it once a day, and you'll see big progress. All of these methods help you practice actively, not just passively. You're not only listening or reading, you are using the language. You are speaking, and that's how fluency is built. By using English regularly in real life, not just studying rules. So today, I invite you to choose one of these methods and start. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait until you feel ready. You're ready now. Speak to yourself. Record your voice. Find someone to exchange messages with. Start shadowing your favorite English speaker. These are small steps, but they lead to big changes. You don't need a perfect environment. You can create your own English world right where you are. Make speaking part of your daily routine. Even just 10 minutes a day can make a huge difference. So, are you ready? Pick one way and speak today. Simple daily practice ideas. Many learners ask me, how can I practice speaking English every day? They know speaking is important. They want to improve. But they don't always know what to say, how to start, or how to keep going. If that sounds like you, don't worry. I've got you. In this part of the podcast, I will share some easy and simple daily speaking ideas that you can start using today, even if you're alone. Let's start with one of the most powerful and simple things you can do. Speak about your day for just 5 minutes every day. This means you choose a time, maybe in the morning or before bed, and you talk out loud about your day. You can say what you did, how you felt, what you liked, or what was difficult. You don't need to be perfect. Just speak. For example, Today, I woke up at 7 a.m. I made coffee. Then I went to work. My boss gave me a new task. I felt a little nervous, but I tried my best. This is real-life speaking. It helps you remember useful words and phrases. It also helps you connect your English with your real world, which is a great way to grow your fluency. Next, you can describe things around you in English. Look around your room. What do you see? Try to describe everything. For example, I see a white chair. It looks comfortable. There is a desk next to the window. On the desk, there is a laptop and a notebook. When you practice like this, you learn vocabulary naturally. You use words like on, under, next to, between, which are important for describing. You can do this while walking, too. If you go outside, talk about what you see. The sky is blue. There are two birds flying. A man is riding a bike. This is easy, fun, and a great way to practice thinking in English. Another powerful practice idea is to ask and answer your own questions. This may sound funny at first, but it's a great way to prepare for conversations. You can pretend you're talking to someone. For example, ask yourself, "What's your favorite food?" and answer, "My favorite food is pizza. I love the cheese and the crispy crust." Then ask, "Why do you like it?" and answer again. You can practice common topics like your hobbies, your job, your family, or your favorite movie. The more you practice asking and answering, the easier real conversations will become. This is how you train your brain to think quickly in English. You can also use easy conversation starters to help you begin. Sometimes we feel stuck because we don't know how to start. So try using simple phrases like, "Today I want to talk about," "Let me tell you about my weekend," "Here's what happened today," "I have a funny story to share," "I'm feeling happy today because." These starters help you begin your speaking practice without overthinking. Once you start, words will begin to flow. Even if you make mistakes, that's okay. The goal is to speak and build confidence, not to be perfect. And here's something important to remember. You don't need a long time. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day is enough to make real progress. The key is to be consistent. That means doing it every day. Speak in English daily, even a little, will help you feel more comfortable, natural, and ready to speak with others. You can also use your phone to support this habit. Set a timer for 5 minutes and start speaking. Use a voice recorder to track your practice. Some learners even create an English diary where they speak instead of writing. For example, each day they say, "Hello, this is my English speaking practice. Today I," and continue from there. This is your private space. No one is watching. No one is judging. It's your time to grow. If you keep doing these simple things every day, speaking about your day, describing your environment, asking yourself questions, and using easy conversation starters, your speaking skills will improve. You'll notice that words come faster. You'll feel more confident. And one day, when someone speaks to you in English, you'll reply with a smile, not with fear. Remember, daily practice builds strong habits, and habits lead to real change. So don't wait for a perfect moment. Start today. Speak a little. Speak every day, and enjoy the process. You are not just learning English. You are building a new skill, a new confidence, and a new way to express yourself to the world. In the next part of this podcast, we'll talk about how to stay consistent and motivated. Even when you're busy, tired, or not sure if you're improving. Motivation and final advice. Now that you've learned some practical tips to start speaking English every day, let's talk about motivation. and why it's so important to stay consistent. Learning a language can sometimes feel like a long journey, but I want to remind you that small steps, done every day, will lead to big progress. And that's why daily speaking practice is so powerful. First of all, speak every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. You don't need to spend hours speaking every day. A few minutes of speaking every day can have a huge impact over time. When you practice daily, you build a habit, and habits are what make you successful. You don't need to wait for a perfect moment or feel like you have to do it for hours. Just speak for 5 minutes. If you do this every day, you'll be amazed at how much your speaking improves. Remember, the goal is consistency, not perfection. Another important thing to keep in mind is that you don't need to be perfect to speak. Many learners think they need to speak perfectly, but this can stop you from speaking at all. It's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning, and they are a sign that you are trying and improving. So don't wait until you feel perfect or until you know every word or rule. Start speaking now. Even if you make mistakes, that's okay. Speaking is about communication, and if people understand you, you're doing great. Mistakes help you learn and grow, so embrace them and keep going. Speaking also builds your confidence. At first, you might feel nervous or shy, it's normal. But the more you speak, the more comfortable you will become. Every time you speak in English, you take a step forward. You're building confidence in yourself and your ability to communicate. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you create through practice. Every time you speak, you are training your brain to feel more confident in your skills. Remember, you can do it. I believe in you. I know it's not always easy, but if you speak every day, even for just a few minutes, you will improve. Don't compare yourself to others. Don't worry about being perfect. The most important thing is to speak. Don't wait for the right time or the perfect conditions. Start today, speak today, and take pride in every step forward. So, I encourage you to make speaking a part of your daily routine. Whether you're talking to yourself, recording your voice, finding a speaking partner, or using any of the other methods we talked about, just do it every day. Be patient with yourself and celebrate your progress. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I hope you feel inspired and motivated to start speaking every day. You have everything you need to improve, and I'm here cheering you on. Keep going, keep practicing, and soon you'll look back and see how much you've achieved. Remember, learning English is a journey, and every step counts. You're doing great, and I believe you can reach your goals. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Real Talk English Podcast. I really hope you found these tips helpful and that you feel more motivated to start speaking English every day. Remember, the key to improvement is practice. Just start small, and over time, you'll see big changes in your speaking skills. Now, I have a little challenge for you. Pick one speaking tip from today's episode and try it right now. Whether it's talking about your day, describing something around you, or asking and answering your own questions, just start speaking. The more you practice, the more confident you'll feel. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just speak. If you found this episode helpful, I'd love for you to share it with your friends who are also learning English. The more people we can help, the better. You can share the podcast on social media or send the link directly to someone who might enjoy it. And of course, if you want to hear more helpful tips and practice ideas like this, make sure to subscribe to Real Talk English Podcast. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode, and you'll always have new ways to improve your English skills. Thanks again for listening. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and remember, you can do it.